Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be transforming this cupboard into this clean, tidy and organised. If you're new to my channel, then I am a mum to 5 boys and it gets pretty hectic. I have fibromyalgia and I do suffer with my mental health, so things do get on top of me, but we all do our best and we all want to have a nice clean and tidy home, so transforming it to this really is good for my mental state, that is for sure. So if you're new to my channel, then stick with me because we're going to have a declutter, a clean up, and yeah, just a really good tidy with the trusty Hoover, not forgetting the upper cupboards. So above the cupboards, you will be shocked to find what is up there. If you don't go up there often, like I don't, well, I found things. Anyway, this cupboard also is diabolical. So if you have seen my last cleanup video, then you'll know that I could barely get anything in it. And this is the change. So chucking a lot of stuff out that was in the back there that wasn't needed, and everything is now clean, tidy, and it fits in there perfectly. And it goes without saying that there's going to be a lot of cleaning, washing up, and just getting everything back to a good state that is in a nice, clean, tidy order. So before I go food shopping, I wanted to get this done, and perfect time to do it is before a food shop. So starting with the top of the cupboards, working my way from the top down to the bottom, I'm grabbing those baskets out, and I find squashed cake and crumbs and dust at the top here. I don't know how cakes got up there. I don't even want to know how cakes got up there. All I can imagine is my little ferrets in the middle of the night climbing up on the worktops, eating a bit of cake, and yeah, if someone's coming the door, then they quickly drop it. That's all I can think of. But I'm sorting through, having a little look and seeing these baskets are actually like for packed lunches. So we usually put all like the lunch treats in one and then loads of crisps in the other. So having a snoop through and picking out any empty packaging that is in there, because that is 9 times out of 10 what I find. I find that my kids just eat something and put it back. Like, they will eat everything out of there and put the empty wrapper back. I don't understand it. We have a bin. But these crisps here I'm going through because they don't eat all the flavours when I get multi-packs. So I thought all the ones they don't eat, we're just going to put into a food bank because it's absolutely ridiculous. And then at least they're going to be going to good use. Bit of Flora. I never measure it, just pour it on in there in some hot water. I'm going for the winter something or other. And I'm going to get up here on these worktops and start cleaning away all that collected dust and cake. I will say one thing that I have definitely learned since being on YouTube is just to not compare yourself to anybody else. Like, don't ever feel that you should be or you're meant to be how everybody portrays their life, because there are a lot of channels out there that actually share things that are real, and they will share everything with you and more, whereas the majority of channels I find don't tend to share a lot of the real world. And I think it's so important in today's society to just share everything that's really real, because how many of us have got dust on the top of our worktops? I mean, come on, not worktops, cupboards. So, you know, it's there, it happens, and we deal with it, and I'm dealing with it right now, and that's the most important thing, is just seeing it and tackling it. Another thing is that we don't clean our cupboards every single week. We don't clean them every day like we hoover every day, or we clean our worktops every day. That's just like the standard. So we're taking care of the absolute necessities. And that's the most important, and chances are it will get like this again. The thing is not to let the visuals of social media get to you. Don't let it bring you down. Don't ever feel that you're less than everyone else just because your cupboards have accumulated some dust. Give yourself a break, put your feet up, watch a Netflix series and enjoy that glass of wine or a cup of tea, whatever takes your fancy. And don't feel guilty. Keeping a home is hard work, but it shouldn't ever consume you or stop you feeling worthy. When I do clean with me videos, they are just that. No hiding things from the camera sight or cleaning before I start cleaning the film in video, because it is what it is. And don't ever forget, make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee while you're cleaning. So important. I find putting on music when I'm cleaning or doing anything around the house is a winner. So I'll put some music on, varied tastes that I have. Love 80s music, love a bit of rock music. I like dark rock music. But I absolutely love George Ezra to the max. If you've been on my channel, you know that anyway. That and Arctic Monkeys. So I've usually got something playing in the background that I can just sing along to, or something that's just going to make me feel a little bit happier as I'm going along. And before you know it, the time passes really, really quickly, and you look back and you think, goodness me, I've just done all of that. I feel so proud of myself. But moving on to watching things, what's everybody watching at the moment? So I finished watching After the Flood, and I really want to get into Trigger Point when it starts. But one of my friends said to me about watching something of an anatomy of something, or it's along those lines, and I can't think what it is, but I need to have a look. I think it's on Netflix. Oh, here we go. Clever moment. My door wouldn't stay open, so I tied some bands together, and I've made myself a little holder open. But it's only for when I'm cleaning. I'm not going to leave it there. Back in with the Hoover I go. Thinking about what to watch on Netflix. I don't know. Sometimes I go from Netflix to watching Call the Midwife for like 4 months straight, and I can't watch anything but Call the Midwife. I do watch EastEnders. I've been watching EastEnders since I was probably about 5 years old, so it's over 30 years. Flipping love it. So yeah, if you ever want to talk about EastEnders, I'm definitely there for it. You know, even though cleaning inside your cupboards and finding stuff on top shelves that you don't see on a daily basis, it may be like, oh yeah, well, it's, you know, I can't see it. It's outside, out of mind. And it is that way, I guess. But when you do clean it, especially when you're feeling really, really down and you're not overly happy with your surroundings or yourself, when you do clean it and you're aware that it's clean and you know you've done it, it does make you feel better, not only in yourself, but just in your mood, like in general, knowing that everything's clean. So yeah, it may be out of sight, out of mind, but it is definitely worth getting in there and giving it a really good clean. The trouble with me is, once I've cleaned, I start looking at everybody else is doing around the house. Like, someone goes to the toilet, I'm like, did you flush? Did you put the toilet seat down? Did you put the tissue back? And then I'm doing it everywhere. Like, if my other half cooks dinner, I'm like, why can't you just clean as you go? Like, I'm obsessed with it. Like, it has to be, oh, it's terrible. Kids are always doing stuff around the house, and here's another example, drawing a face on the cupboard. And as much as I really want to keep it there, because I think it's quite sweet that they've drawn this little face inside the kitchen cupboard door, it has been removed, unfortunately. But those little things that are around the house, sometimes it can be like, oh my god, you've drawn on the wall, or why have you done this on the door? But they are like little moments that just make you realise you've got these little humans around your house, and as much as you want your house to be like this all the time, it is quite nice having those little moments where you find something that they've done and you think they've stood there in the quiet and done that. It's quite funny, really. And the cupboards are now back in order, and I've chucked everything away that we didn't need. It was like, why have we got this? I didn't find anything out of date. Quite surprised at that. But it's so much more organised now, and I'm really, really happy with that. Just going to quickly hoover up all the rice that I dropped on the floor. When I was emptying out the cupboards, some of the rice tipped over, and it's been irritating my feet ever since. And now we're going to move on to the cupboard, which is the most dreaded one of them all, because I've got so much stuff in here. So instead of watching me in normal time, let's speed it up. I'm getting everything out of these cupboards to give them a super sort out. Like, I found stuff in here we didn't even need. I found baking trays in the back of the cupboard that I hadn't seen in I don't know how long. And yeah, it started to go rusty in the corners, and I thought, we just don't need this, so chucking it all out. Anything that's not needed or hasn't been used in more than a year, then it needs to go. Absolutely. This is where I say definitely be firm on yourself when you're decluttering. It's just like, ask yourself, have I used it in the past year? No. If not, and if it's still usable and it's still good, pass it on to friends and family. If not, chuck it out for the bin, because there's just no point in holding it in your house when it's not even being used. The trusty Hoover comes out to play once more. Honestly, love getting the Hoover out. And I don't think my guinea pigs do. Always make some squeaks, so I try to shut them away when I'm doing it. But this is everything I got out of there. Everything on the worktops was inside that small cupboard. This is why I couldn't fit anything in. So I thought, right, chuck it all in the sink that needs to have a really good clean. All the cake making stuff and whatnot, we're going to go over it all, give it a wash, organise it. I mean, look, there's a rusty cake tin there. why is that there? But we're going to sort it out and then put it back as to what we're going to need, all in order. And there is a broken coffee thingamajiggy down there as well. So I did cut my hand on that and it's been stinging all day, but that's gone in the bin. So now I'm just sorting out everything that was on the inside the cupboard and going to start cleaning and putting it all back into its place. But I am going to organise it. So I'm going to have one shelf which is going to be for like cake making stuff, and then I'm going to have the other shelf for like everyday baking, you know, what we use every day to cook dinner and whatnot. So I'm going into what feels like an absolute cave. It's pitch black in there and it's very dusty. So yeah, here's a nice little close-up for you. Get a good view, but how satisfying it is just to clean it all away and see it come together. Oh, and it smells beautiful as well, so we're winning. I will say that I've had some comments on my videos, like my clean with me videos, that have been like, oh, it's still dirty even though you've cleaned it. It's definitely not clean, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, just sort your own out. And, you know, stop coming back to my videos, because it's the same person over and over and over again saying the same thing. And I'm like, just go away and deal with your own issues and stop coming on here because you've got nothing better to do with yourself, because that's all it is at the end of the day. It is hard sometimes to get negative comments, but when you're on here and any social media platform really, you're going to get it. Look at this, look, I cleaned it all, and then when I used the polish, I don't know why, but I found that satisfying. This paint that I got and I put on the cupboards, definitely don't buy it. Please don't buy it. I can't remember what it is. I'll definitely try and find what it was called again. But I got it in Dunelm. And yeah, it doesn't hold. Every time I clean it, it just wipes off. It goes like chalk. So I cleaned out the boys' bedroom recently, and I had spare baskets when I came out of their room. And this came in handy. So I've given it a clean, and I thought I'm going to put all the cake making stuff, washed it all, and then get it in the basket so that I know where everything is. So rather than it just sort of like flowing around and being lost in all the pans and the whatnot, it's going to have its own place. So anything that's cake making will be in that basket, and it fits perfectly as well. I'm just size testing it at the moment, making sure it does actually fit. But while I was doing that, I remembered I've got loads of these inside the drawer as well. This needs clearing out as well, but that is definitely for another day. I've got so much on my plate today. But I found loads of them in here, like Halloween tools for pumpkin carving. And I'm like, why is it in here? If it's not for everyday use, we use it once a year. So it shouldn't be in the drawers that we use every single day. Much more organised. So now I'm going on to that dreaded trying to organise it all and put it back where it belongs. And although it looks like, oh, you know, it just seems like such a mission just to organise it all and find where everything fits and what fits best in what places, it's so worth it. And I do feel so much better for doing it. It's made me want to do the rest of them. So I'm going to be doing all my other cupboards soon. I'm going to be doing the fridge and the freezer also, because they definitely need sorting out. So having a little think about where I'm going to put the slow cooker, because that gets used quite often, but at the same time it's really big and you want to be able to get it in and out without it blocking everything. So having a little think about where I'm going to put stuff, and yeah, actually really enjoying this, to be fair. I will say I've had a lot of people comment on my hair lately, and I don't know why. My hair must be going for a good patch, even though it's slightly green at the end, because I'm holding out from dyeing it, but I'll do it soon. I've actually got a video prepped for that, which is like, it's like a compilation of all other videos to show you the process of going to a nice chocolate brown or possibly black. Not quite sure yet. But as I was saying earlier about negativity and, you know, how other people see you and things like that, and you should never let it get to you. Don't ever judge others or let others judge you. We never know what's going on behind closed doors with another person. We don't know what they're going through. So, you know, share this with someone or anyone if you think that they need to hear it, because we're all human at the end of the day. We're all trying to do our best. And if you're a parent, then you know how hard it is. It's extremely hard. You barely have any time. You don't have time for yourself. You don't know who you were before kids. And yeah, life is just hard. So small little things like dust or, you know, cluttered kitchen, it really doesn't mean that much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Hopefully I'll have my mic sorted out by then, but I'm still ploughing on regardless. Thank you again for watching.